Hi everybody. This is the continuing saga of working on the Tailcone. This is the second to rear uh, bulkhead, which I was just riveting together. So like I said in the last video, the tail... Oh, here I am because I wanted to get cute. Wanted to make sure they'd actually fit. So that's the strike plate. Hold on, while I'm doing this, I'll explain. So yeah, here I'm just riveting these in because I wanted to see that they would actually fit. And I put it aside. So yeah, the rear two bulkheads are actually two-piece, kind of like ribs with opposite-facing flanges. One's bent in, one's bent out. You'll know what I mean if you ever see them, so that they actually fit a shrinking style tail cone that's, going to a point at the end. Now this third one's a little interesting. It does have some separate pieces, some doublers, but it's not full-size doublers. So you got the full-size thing there, and what I'm holding right there is the doubler. That is actually the doubler itself, which I'm doing some quick deburring on. So there's a few things about the tail cone chapter that are interesting, especially since that's really, let's see, that's chapter 10. Let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the fifth chapter that you'll be working on if you start with the empennage. However, I kind of been holding it off because tail cones are hard to hide. Storage for me is at a premium, so I just kind of put it off. But boredom being boredom, I said, you know what, I need a change of pace off of these damn tanks, this damn wing. So it's time to actually get that thing working and get some tail cone work. And so like each one of these bulkheads takes up only one set of pages, right? I mean, there's some match drilling, there's a few places where you have to remove some metal, etc. But for the most part, these things are just one page, and and the instructions are very simple. The one thing it doesn't have you do, so you do some match drilling, but it never tells you to final drill. It never tells you to deburr the parts. Now that may have just been an omission, because once you get the wing kit in, the wing kit chapters all have deburr instructions. Wherever you go, there's instructions to deburr stuff. But not so far in this tail cone. So it's kind of thrown me for a little bit of a loop. Now, of course, my brain won't, my builder sense won't allow me to actually create pieces that aren't deburred. So I've gone through and deburred everything. Plus, kind of like, okay, so the second bulkhead, not the one I'm working on now, that's the third, but the second bulkhead has the long, giant attached strips that I was talking about in the last video that you have to deburr those things. Those things are huge. First, you have to straighten them out in the vise. Then you need to, oh, there's my buddy Drew. Then you need to, deburr them, and they're huge. And one thing that they don't mention is that, they're all number 30 holes. So all the holes that go through it are number 30. And it doesn't tell you to final drill those holes. I mean, it tells you to match drill in some places, but it doesn't tell you to final drill. And so wherever it doesn't tell you to final drill, you're like, but wait a minute, that's getting riveted later. How the hell am I supposed to put a number 30 rivet through this hole that hasn't been final drilled? Curious that that's not in the plans. So that's one of those times, and I feel kind of blessed that I decided to skip it and go on to do some wings first. Just because it's not in the instructions doesn't mean it's not a good idea. If it doesn't say to deburr a piece, deburr the damn thing. Why would you even want to have stress risers? Why would you want to have a place where subtle cracks can start? You don't want any of that. So one note about this third to last bulkhead. Pardon me. So this third to last bulkhead, you've got the big stiffener that you saw me working with a little bit before, But you also have a couple of small side stiffeners as well as 2 attach strips. Now the attach strips aren't near as big, but they are still the same thickness. You don't really need to straighten them because they're too small to get a good size bend on them. But you will be using dome heads, and you will be using some size 3 dome heads. Now I let the mechanic for our club use a bunch of mine, so I had to steal a bunch of his back. But you will be doing size 3 dome heads, so make sure you don't lose that dimple die, like I almost did. So this is the last one that has any attached strips. After this, we will be working on the larger bulkheads in the front, so I will see you soon.